Bam. Hello. Welcome to another surprise video of a tank. Since, like, the tank cup is basically going on and holiday stuff is about to start up, I thought I would do something that, may or may not have something to do with the reward for the tank cup. So I'm playing the ELC. Immediately getting bottom tier. Let's go. So I've had the ELC for a long time, and it's been a little bit since I've played it. But I kind of have a feeling that this will be like a more accurate representation of what the reward's going to be, because it's probably just going to be one of these, but up tier, maybe with a slightly better gun. I don't know. We'll have to find out when they actually talk about the tank, because I haven't seen it. And I don't know what they're going to do for it. Is it going to be for, like, the people that have won, like, each one? Are you gonna get a discount depending on, like, what place we finished in, or like what's the deal with it? That's what I want to know. That's gonna be the big question. Like, what's gonna be the deal with it? I don't know. We'll figure it out. And here's the fun of doing these live. I don't get to pick and choose which maps that it uses. Well, which maps that I use gameplay from. Which is fine. I'm gonna do this. Because I can probably get away with it. Get some spotting here. Actually do light tank things for once in a while with this tank, because Lord knows I don't play this thing like a light tank 90% of the time. %90 of the time I'm playing this thing like a TD, because, Lord knows it's not an accurate, interpretation of what a light tank should be. Even though I can literally sit here in the middle of the fucking map, as long as I don't fire, and just watch as the assisted damage racks up. Which I'm not gonna lie, is really fucking funny. If I can go this entire game without having to fire a shot, I'm gonna be a combination of, like, impressed and also, like, amused. Because very rarely do I play the ELC like an actual light tank. Just because, like, it's small, and it's really funny. I have nearly 2,000 assisted damage already. Now it's time for me to get out of dodge. Meow. It's so small that I'm drowning right there. I really want to remove that black bus from reality, but, you know. gonna hope that the Super Hellcat can deal with the A44. Okay. An IKV? Nice. Both of those tanks are actually within range that they should be able to spot me. But, you know. Either they do not have the view range, or my view range is just better. Am I gonna break like 2,000 assisted damage without firing a single shot? Because one, that's funny. Two, that's funny. Three, I should not be allowed to do this. Damn it. I got spotted, but 2,400 assisted damage. I've only fired one shot this entire game. Such a wild game. Oh my god, the IKV is in fact still alive. I wonder if this IKV is going to be looking in this direction. Damn it. Oh well. IKV's all that's left, so I'll take 2,400 assisted damage. And we're gonna cap out and win. ELC time. This is why I love the spotting mechanics. Because it means you can do silly shit like that. You know, just a cool 800 XP for doing fuck all. Basically. Oh, I love the ELC. It's like, it's just such a dumb little tank. So I'm hoping that the premium at least is like that. Because it's such a funny tank. Is it good tier for tier? I mean, if you can actually get a tier 5 match, yeah. It's a pretty decent tank. Would it... And there's a reason why I'm using the 90 on it instead of the fucking 75, because... A, the 90's funny. B, I don't think it's, like, anywhere near remotely acceptable that this thing should have a fully traversable turret, because it would decapitate the commander. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you. It would decapitate the commander, which I don't think is an okay thing. Just gonna be honest with you. But yeah. So, since I'm talking about the reward of the Tank Cup, and I'm hoping that they offer the Tier 6 version of this thing on a discount for those who participated, depending on your participation level. I honestly don't think the Tank Cup's super rewarding. It's like, hooray, you've gotten your 5 goals. Which took, like, 15 points. per goal. Okay, but what did we get for doing that? XP boosters? Just XP boosters? No like no premium time, none of that. XP boosters, some camo, and that's it. Okay. Like, I'm not trying to sound like I'm asking for too much, because camo is okay. Not terrible. XP boosters are okay. It's not terrible, but at the same time, it's like, the reward for all of these is a tier 6 premium tank. A tier 6 that may or may not be good, or, you know, given past experiences with Tank Cup and or Tank Bowl, the rewards have not been super great. They're like mediocre tanks. Kind of like the tanks that they throw at people for the holidays and or the anniversary, where they just give you a little, like, piece of shit like tier 2 or tier 3 tank and be like, oh, okay, here you go. Even though, like, 90% of the players are never going to use it because, haha, low tiers, like, nobody plays. Aside from, like, people that are starting out this game, and or people that just want to, bullshit their way through, certain ops. Because I'll be honest, some of those, seasonal challenges, specifically, like, the get so many penetrations. Okay, go play the fucking Panzer, like, 3K or some shit, you know, just play something in low tier that fires really fast, like the Panzer 1C. You know, something like that. Easy completions. That's the only reason you play low tiers. Unless you're trying to get somebody to start the game with you. God, I love the fact that I can just sit here invisible. Let me take a third of that KV2. And then I can just disappear. This is how I normally play the ELC. But yeah, no, like, a lot of their rewards are not really rewards. They're just kind of like, oh, here's a low-tier tank because we don't want to give you something that's actually, like, moderately relevant for you. Just fire and disappear there. I need to take another pot shot at this KV2 before it, Oop, there's a dip there. Because the KV2 I know is blind as a bat, so it's not gonna see me. Or at least it's not gonna see me within time. KV2 still going for it? I mean, I respect it, but... I mean, he's probably gonna be dead. Yeah. That's what I was expecting there. Can I get a shot on them from up here? Ow. Oh, speaking of a reward tank that's kind of meh. Grizzly. See, I love that this tank can do this, because, like, it's got a 90, which is punchy enough of a gun. Probably gonna take a hit here. Actually didn't take a hit here, so... Really kind of confused, but, you know... I'll take it. I'll live for that. Like, feasibly, there's so much dumb shit you can do with a small tank like this, but... Like, anyways, to stop being distracted by, ELC shenanigans. I think they need to start giving us higher tier reward tanks, because, these little, like, low tier ones are not, like, what I think they should be promoting in the game. Because, like, I want to play the reward tanks because I feel bad just having a premium tank in my garage and not playing it. That was funny. But also, like, there's not really an influx of new players, so releasing, like, seal clubbing tanks is not a great idea. It's really not. That being said, I also don't like, the whole mentality of forcing everyone to just play tier 10 if you don't want to get fucked by the matchmaker, because, I'm gonna be real with you. The most fun that I have playing this game, or the most fun that I've had playing this game, has been at tier 8. Because I feel like, as far as, like, all of the tiers in the game modes are concerned, tier 8 has the most variety. So, yeah, I feel like it's a missed opportunity to, you know, have some, you know, some, like, interesting games. Because, like, the matchmaker dictates, oh, if you play a tier 8 unless you have preferential matchmaking, you will constantly be in tier 10s. Because there's really no downside to playing constantly tier 10s. Literally, the way that everything's set up, it pushes you to play tier 10. And before, you would have to, you know, go play tier 8, because, like, tier 10 would bleed your credits unless you had a absolute ridiculous amount of credits just saved up. But now Cold War exists, so you just hop into Cold War, you play some games and that, and you've got your credits, and you just go back playing tier 10. Like, you know, doesn't matter. So people just spam gold and shit in tier 10s. Or they have things like the Tehran, which is just blatantly overpowered. Like, even in the wrong hands, it's such a fucking stupidly strong tank. And it has no business being that strong. But if you know what you're doing, you can crank out, like, disgustingly high damage games like it's nothing. Which, do I find it funny? Yes, it is funny. Is it good for the game as a whole? Absolutely not. But, you know, we'll have to see what they do from here, because with the shakeup in management, there's a lot of things that they'll probably be doing different. God, I love being this small, because I can just sit here and just spot things, and they can't really shoot me over the dip. I love being able to do that. I can take the Panzer IV in like 2 shots, and I'm dead. Basically. Ow. My life. Why? But yeah, I wanna see what they do next, because I'm interested. I wanna see what they have in the works. Am I expecting much from them? No. Because I haven't expected anything from them in a long time. Ow. Case in point, though, I don't think there's gonna be much changes. I think it's still gonna be, like, reskin central. because, like, they've released some new things, which I'm happy for, like, for instance, the Tornvong, which is a tank I would like to get my hands on at some point, but, you know, I can't justify the cost of the premium tanks, because they're a little pricey. I would rather get new games and or expansions for games with a little more substance. If you know what I mean. Yeah, no. Would I have less of a problem throwing money at the game and to support it if they worked on quality of life? Yeah. I would have much less issue throwing money at a game that I think has potential. Do I think World of Tanks currently has... Well, World of Tanks specifically on console has potential right now? Not really, no. I don't think it has any potential growth. Unless they, you know, clean up the game. And by clean up the game, I just mean making it a little more user-friendly and a little less predatory monetization. Because, like, you don't get this, like, super pushy monetization unless you're having a bad time. Because, hate to tell you this, console team, but, trying to push so many things as expensive as they are, when, you know, people could legitimately just buy straight up full games for the cost of some of these tanks, you're not doing yourself any favors. The other thing, again, and I know I bring this up quite a bit with my complaints of the game, but it's a valid complaint. You should have never switched to linear vehicle progression. That linear system, the only way that the linear system is going to work here is if you reduce the XP costs of, like, everything. Which, yeah, is it going to make grinding to the top tiers faster? Yes. Yes, it will. But it's easier to keep newer players when you can get them out of what is essentially the hell that is trying to upgrade tanks. Because I don't know if you've played, like, stock tier 6 tanks in tier 8 games, or stock tier 7 tanks in tier 9 games, or stock tier 8 tanks in tier 10 games. It's not a fun experience, and the amount of XP that it takes with those stock packages is usually quite a bit, and does not encourage people to play the game a whole lot. So yeah, needless to say, I am full on the opinion that quality of life starting needs to be a less irritable, well, I say irritable, less irritating UI, because, dear God, are some of these menus completely unnecessary and take way too many clicks to get through. Also, your filter system, when assigning a commander to a tank, I should not have to, every single time, pick the nation of the tank that I want a commander for. It should just automatically be the commanders of that nation. Like, for instance, if I have the 12T here, I don't know why I still have the 12T. I really don't. But if I go over here to commanders, and I hit assign a commander, oh look, it's still got my filter on from Cold War. But yeah, it starts out with, notably not French crews. All my unassigned crews. Still all the unassigned crews. And some assigned crews. And look at that. None of the, like, how far do I have to go to find a French... Look at that. I had to go all the way over here to find a French crew. Like, come on. What? Didn't, like, do something with this, because this is too much. New players are not going to find this intuitive. New players are not going to look at this and be like, oh, this is easy to understand and get into and easy to learn. they're gonna take one look at this, take a look at the linear vehicle progression system, and be like, I think I'd rather just go play something like Fortnite, where I can just hop in and play, and not have to really learn a whole lot. I just play the game. Like, there's a reason why people haven't been, like, chomping at the bit to join, like, the World of Tanks console community, or to an extent, like, PC, although PC is doing a little bit better because, like, to be honest, having that ability to pick and choose which parts you get and upgrade and or to fast track your way to the next tank, like, just those options alone make learning the entire crew system on PC much more worthwhile than here on console. Also, PC, by the way, just recently made 6 cents available to every commander by default. So, 6 cents is basically a standard feature on PC, instead of having to waste a, you know, a crew skill on it now. So yeah. The other thing with PC that I noticed is different is the game actually, you know, somewhat makes sense why it works. It's not, oh, I shot at this thing and I bounced and I have no explanation of why it bounced. No, it's, I shot at this thing, I didn't have enough pin, I bounced. Or I didn't hit the weak spot, I bounced. Oh well. Or, hey, I'm in this super heavy tank that has a lot of armor and very, like, few weak spots from the front. I'm bouncing premium rounds from the front. Yeah, that's what super heavy armored tanks are supposed to do, not become Swiss cheese. I know, I'm a little bitter about that. The other thing is, the way that the tech trees and stuff branch off here, there is way too many fucking tanks on some of these. Like, let me, for instance, go over here. This is probably the most egregious one. The 432, branching off into the 430, the K91, and the 430U. This, if you could choose which one, I wouldn't have too much of an issue with it, because it's like, you could choose one and just ignore the others. And go back and get them whenever. PC, all of these are up different fucking tanks. Like, the 432 goes into the fucking K91. The 430 is a tier 9. They reduced the stats accordingly. And it's a pretty damn good tank at tier 9. Is it, like, game-breaking at tier 9? No. Because, like, the nerfs that they gave to it to make it fit at tier 9 makes sense. And it makes more sense going from the 430 to the 430U. Because it's just a bigger gun and slightly better armor. It makes sense. Instead of going from the 432 to the 430U. Or the 432 to the 430. Also kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Whereas, you know, the K91 is basically just a better 432. That's basically just all it is. It's just a slightly better 432. It's just all it is. Like, do not be afraid to make that change and take a tier 10 and move it to tier 9 if it makes sense. Like, for instance, when they added the fucking the 268 version 5 on PC, they took the 263 and bumped it down to tier 9. I feel like that also made a lot of fucking sense. And on here, instead of, you know, having the KV2 go into fucking artillery, the KV2 on PC goes into the fucking, where's it at? The fucking SU-152. Which I think also makes sense. Like, I don't know. It's just some, like, nitpicking I'm doing, I guess, on top of this. But anyways, I hope you enjoy my video on the ELC and my thoughts on the game as a whole. This is a bit of a longer video than normal because I ranted quite a bit. But anyways, if you have any comments or thoughts, please let me know. As always, thank you for watching if you watched this far. I'll try to upload a video a week. It will vary depending on, like, the mood I'm in, what I record. But today it's tanks, so hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.